do a bit of introduction before we get started. Like I said, I wanted to thank everyone so much for joining today. We are all so happy that you can make it, and I'm beyond grateful to have gathered all of these speakers in one place. It's going to be an amazing day. So feel free to come and go. I know it's a long day. I'm going to be here all day, but you can come and go as you please. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelly Summers, and I'm the owner of Belle Live Beautiful. I'm a registered nurse and a certified holistic nutritionist, and I provide custom health coaching programs to women to help optimize their health, lose weight without dieting. So over the holidays, I came up with this idea to hold a summit. With 2020 behind us, thank goodness, I just really wanted to find a way to gather everyone together and, find a little bit of happiness, hope, inspiration for the year to come. Obviously, we're still dealing with some uncertainties, but I think if we can stick together, support each other, we'll be good. So sit back, relax, grab a coffee. I think I've already had a little bit too much, so don't mind me if I'm shaking a bit. But we will go ahead and enjoy the first annual Live Beautiful Wellness Summit. So we have a wonderful day planned. We're going to get started. First up, we have Brittany Scarpino of Heal with Brittany. Brittany Scarpino is an intuitive healer and mentor. She specializes in supporting women to overcome burnout and blocks in their own empowerment. She teaches women to connect with their intuitive selves to gain clarity, the clarity they seek, and the ability to heal in all levels of their being. She is a Reiki energy practitioner, Kundalini yoga and meditation instructor, and creates guided meditations and affirmations to help you release what doesn't serve you and support you on your healing journey. So who doesn't need that? Sorry, Britt, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I guess I'll start off where, it's been about a decade, I guess, of, I was struggling with a lot of health issues, stress related. Difficulty sleeping. It was hard to kind of wind down at the end of the day. Diagnosis of adrenal fatigue, low cortisol, that kind of thing, gut issues. So I was on a search to get better, to improve this. I was unaware of sort of what was leading to these issues. So I experimented with so many tools, yoga, meditation, Reiki, angel cards were a huge thing, connecting to the intuitive world, I guess, for answers. And the biggest thing that I learned through this journey is that the answers are within us. And we have access to the answers that we're looking for. And there's just some tips that you can use for yourself to kind of access that information and kind of best support yourself in your life. So that being said, using all these tools, I have never felt better. And, I'm able to manage my stress way more and recognize the patterns that are keeping me in feeling, disempowered, fatigued, rushing, all that kind of stuff. So it's sort of a holistic approach to feeling better. And that is sort of what I teach in my mentorship and everything, is a holistic approach to feeling better. So in terms of living beautiful, I guess the biggest thing, the biggest tip that I have is listening to yourself, listening inside. For everything. So it could be as simple as, what do I want in this moment? Like, what do I feel? Do I feel like I need a rest? Do I feel like maybe I should go for a walk? Or maybe I'm hungry. So I think so often we ignore our basic needs because we're on overdrive and just, going about our day, going to work and stuck in these routines. And we ignore the basic things. So even like water, like check in with yourself in each moment, and listening to what your body is asking for. So I think so much of our answers are there, like our body saying, please just like give me this, give me some electrolytes in my water, or please stop drinking coffee, or like, you know, whatever it might be.
But we ignore those symptoms, those signs.
We do, because it's just habit and that kind of thing. But it's really powerful, you know, when I started listening, forgetting everything that I thought that I knew, everything practitioners, you know, and doctors may have told me. Not that I'm saying to ignore everybody, but it's just so important to listen to yourself first. So, you know, there was times when I felt I had to eat, you know, these certain diets to improve my health, but it was making me feel so awful. But I kept doing it, pushing through, thinking this is going to heal me. This is going to heal me. It never did. So yeah, once I started silencing the voices of everybody else and giving myself permission to eat what I was craving, even if it was meat and I felt, you know, it's not spiritual to eat meat, you know, giving myself permission to say that's okay. Like, your body's asking for something, listen to it, and we'll see what happens, essentially.
Love that.
Yeah. So that's been huge. And I think it's a big step towards empowerment, because you're taking back your power instead of giving it to everybody else. It's not, you know, not everybody can heal you. You are a unique individual and you have unique needs, and only you know what you need, mind, body, and soul, to improve yourself. So yeah, that was a huge thing for me. But also, I guess, on us as well as that is even, you know, exercising. You know, what feels good for you in the moment? Is it too, are you doing too fast of exercise, or do you need something like more restorative? You know, letting yourself, like, it's okay if you can only do restorative, slow exercise right now. You know, it's maybe just what you need. So yeah, that's just another kind of piece of listening to yourself as well. And the other piece is about living a beautiful life is doing what makes you happy. Like, what feels good, what brings you joy, what lights you up, what makes you happy and makes your heart full. You know, is it being with animals? Like, for myself, that's what it would be.
Yes, we know that, Brittany.
Yeah. Yes.
Animal whisperer.
Yeah, I started off with animal Reiki, but yeah, like, what brings you comfort and joy, and doing more of that. Like, you know, there was a time where people had asked me, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, I don't know what I do for fun. Like, you know, we get stuck in serious mode of working, but we forget to do the things that bring us joy, myself included. So yeah, doing more of that. And even if you don't know what that is, you just start experimenting and exploring. Maybe hot yoga brings you joy, or just going for walks, playing with your children or your pets. But I think to live more beautiful, it's just doing that stuff. Not taking life so seriously, and giving yourself permission to have more joy in your life, because it's not all work. We deserve joy and fun and happiness as well. So that is a big thing, you know, for living beautiful. And another big thing for living beautiful is the power of our thoughts. So that's something I had mentioned I would be speaking about, but our thoughts are so incredibly powerful. We have no idea. They impact how we feel. So if we want to feel better, it's just bringing awareness to what our thoughts are telling us in each moment. And you know, the simple awareness can really change our lives. You know, are we beating down on ourselves? Are we, you know, feeling less than or speaking less than optimistically about something? And just simply switching those thoughts to the other side of the coin, you know, but what if everything is working out beautifully? You know, what if everything is okay? Like, I'm okay, I'm doing the best I can. You know, it's okay. And comforting ourselves as well. is a way to live beautifully. Is we need to be our own best friend, because we are kind of all we've got. Not all we've got, but we are our main. We're stuck with ourselves forever. So
So you better be good.
so yeah, we better make it a nice place. And so, being more comforting to ourselves and speaking more kindly to ourselves is going to be a huge impact in how you feel. So something I started off with using was talks by Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks. So on YouTube, if you're looking on, well, how can I change my mind frame? Because sometimes we get stuck in these patterns, and we don't have these positive things to just start speaking that are going to impact us necessarily. So anyway, that's a tool that I used, is that, or affirmations as well are a great way to kind of speak more positively and have a better internal dialogue within. So there's that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so the idea that, we have all the answers within us is the idea, like, we are intuitive beings. We have these answers. And we just need to learn to trust it. Like, we have these gut instincts, we call it. And we all have it, men, women, these inklings of what we should do, and maybe we shouldn't go there, or shouldn't do this, or maybe we should stop talking to that person. Something doesn't feel right, And it's my hope for everyone that we start listening to those nudges, because not only is it going to help you, guide you to, like, what you should just be simply eating and drinking and doing to make you live more happily, but also it's going to just help lead you to the path that you ultimately like dream of. Like, what are your dreams? Your intuition your nudges are going to help lead you there, in small little steps. But I have a story on, the importance of listening to your gut. But it was years ago, and I was laid off for the first time and living on my own, and I was looking for work, and I was stressed because, like, the money was running out and I needed to find work. I had to pay the rent by myself and all of that. And so I got an interview for a place, and it seemed ideal because it was near my house, good money, all of that. And I got to the interview, and they walked me around the office, and I just started feeling like bad vibes, like something's not right about this place. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it didn't light me up. It didn't say, yeah, I really want to work here. So that's something to pay attention to. That excitement and being lit up is like your soul saying, yeah, this is the right thing.
Yeah.
So I went about the interview and the walk around, and I was like, oh God, I just can't work here. I don't know why. I just can't. I need the money, but I can't. So anyway, I waited, I went home, and I got offered the job. It was through an employment agency. And, I had no other prospects, nothing else lined up. My rent was going to be due, in the next month. And I said, I can't take the job. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to decline. And they were all surprised, or the agency woman was quite surprised. But I said, yeah, I'm going to keep looking. And from the outside in our logical mind, that was a stupid decision, because Brittany, how are you going to pay your rent, and how are you going to support yourself? I'm like, I'm going to have to go through bankruptcy. Like, what do I do?
Your mind's taking over.
Yeah. And, after that, something led me to connect with someone in the Department of Family Justice where I wanted to work. And I just, for some reason, reached out and, said if I'm interested, curious about the field. And I ended up getting like a an interview, a non-posted interview just by word of mouth. And it led me into the door of working with the government of Alberta, which was such a blessing. So I got this job, and the essential part of it is I listened to my gut and declined the obvious offer and knew something was better out there for me. And there was, and it opened so many doors for me and learning experiences, and it was a blessing to start that job. So yeah, the message is, like you have this power, we all have it. And if we all just start listening a little bit more, then I think we can get the answers we're looking for, and definitely live more beautifully. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's sort of the main topics I wanted to touch on today. So
That's great, Britt. It's so wonderful to hear, oh my gosh, like how much you've experienced and grown and kind of come back to the whole listening to yourself. And that's a big piece. And you're right. I mean, so many of us just go with, well, this is the right decision, so I'm going to do this, but is this the best decision for me? And I mean, for you to risk, turning down that job, but it opened the door for you to get the other job. So, it's one of those things, right? It's, people say some things are meant to be. So, yeah,
I believe that. I don't know if I believe in coincidences. I think things are brought to us in divine timing, and they're meant to be. And if we slow down enough to watch the signs and recognize these coincidences, then we'll realize the power in them. So
yeah, yep, absolutely.
yeah.
I think it's great because you're still so young, and to be so mature and intuitive, and I'm sure people tell you you're kind of like an old soul, Britt. But it's really cool. It's so important to go through that, and just to learn to stop and listen. Sophie's just asking a quick question, Britt. Can you repeat for the people who weren't on at the beginning what your the YouTube channel that you mentioned?
Oh yeah. So you can just YouTube Abraham Hicks, just Abraham Hicks, and it will come up with tons of YouTube talks. So it's a woman who channels this being Abraham Hicks. So it's a little kind of esoteric, but it's about, you learn the power of your thoughts and how you can harness them. And if you're feeling low or in a bad mood, you can turn on these YouTubes and just listen to them, and they change my outlook, and it can make you feel better. So.
Oh, good to know. That's great. Perfect. So, and then I'll also, once we're done here, I'm going to, and Wendy says there's numerous books as well. So I'll list where people can contact you, and then if they have any questions, they can get in touch. But a couple questions. So you've done a great job. Obviously, the theme of today is live beautiful. So you've really done a great job already summarizing what that means to you. But a couple things, in terms of frequently asked questions, in terms of, what you do. So someone asked, I have difficulty meditating and trouble focusing. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, so this is such a common question. People often think, I can't concentrate, I can't meditate, it's just impossible. But, starting as small as just being mindful in anything that you do, bringing attention to the present moment, drinking water, presently, instead of thinking about other things. Essentially, that is what meditation is. It's bringing your awareness to the present moment. And so Eckhart Tolle once said, one breath in and out consciously is a meditation. So anything that you do that is mindful and in the moment can start you on your way. That is like that is meditating, that is present moment awareness. So you can start that way. Otherwise, in general, like meditation apps and YouTubes can help guide you there a lot easier than doing it on your own. But exploring what's going to work best for you, because there will be a way and a method that kind of just clicks for you and will be like, oh yes, this feels good. So
yeah, absolutely, that's so true. Because I think, and giving yourself credit for, like you said, that one breath in and out. You know, we often think that, oh, I have to sit down and do like 15, 20, 60 minutes of meditation a day in order to get anything out of it. Yeah, that's and that everyone's different too, right? Like,
yes, totally.
Yeah, cool. So the next one, I'm looking for more clarity in my life and I'm interested in connecting with the spiritual world. What do you recommend?
Well, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know I just love anything to do with angels, angel cards, oracle cards. Actually, ironically, I did my spread this morning, but angel cards, like, this was my first attempt at reaching for answers during a difficult time in my life years ago. And they're a great way to provide clarity for you. You can't mess it up. And they're beautiful and loving and great messages on them. So any deck of cards that you feel called to, I think what you feel drawn to is the most important. And yeah, that will be kind of start you on your way to connecting with the spiritual world and just getting clarity about your life right now. So
yeah, I love those cards as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And last question, I can't figure out the solution to a certain health issue. I've tried so many treatments, but nothing seems to be working completely. What can I do?
Yeah, so similar to what I mentioned in the beginning, but just doing what feels good and paying attention. Like when you eat something, for example, how do you feel after? Just being really attentive to how your body's reacting to everything you're consuming and everything you're doing. Like, you know, if you're feeling really active all day, have you given yourself a moment of rest? Just noticing your body, how it reacts to everything. And I think that will help lead you in the right direction in knowing what you need. I also fully believe that we all have like a prescription, a personal prescription that's just for us, like, and we will be led to it. We will be led to the book that's going to help heal or work towards healing a certain issue, or we will be led to a certain practitioner. So it's maybe stepping back and allowing that to come to you, and listening to your nudges as well. And yeah, just doing more of that instead of just simply researching and looking for external things. And I think you will be on your way to healing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I love everything you've said, because the big theme here is obviously listening to your body. And it is so true. Your body will give you signs. And unfortunately, there's so much misinformation out there, especially when it comes to health or nutrition or exercise, you know, that there is a one size fits all. And it's absolutely not true. I can also attest to that for sure. It's just, you know, little signs that you maybe don't think of, right? Like, I think I told you before, Britt, being that I can only eat plant protein at lunch. Otherwise, I, you know, fall asleep in the afternoon. So those kind of things absolutely are important. So.
Yeah, absolutely. In the near future, I will be offering like a group coaching program. And, you know, there's definitely going to be some free resources coming out as well. So if you follow me on Instagram is my main place. You can definitely just sort of start watching some of the stuff if they resonate with you. Contact me through Instagram or through my website if you have any questions at all. And yeah, I look forward to speaking with some of you if you're interested. So
perfect. Well, thank you so much, Britt. That was really, oh, sorry, I call you Britt.
That's okay.
That's just what I'm used to. But this is a great way. And again, absolutely, you've got Brittany's contact information. And, you know, if for some reason you can't find it, you can always get in touch with me and I'll put that up for you. So.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Kelly.
So much, Britt.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Okay, so next up, I did see Jody pop in there. Let me see. Do you have your video on, Jody? I can't see you.
I do, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to do a quick introduction, if that's okay. Thank you so much for attending today. We are so excited to have you. Obviously, you have a ton of experience, and I'm just excited to see what you have to share. So Jody, after treating over 10,000 paramedical and cosmetic patients through Cinnamon Girl Clinic, Jody is recognized as an industry leader and has served as a board member of the American Academy of Micropigmentation. She has partnered with doctors, plastic surgeons, and offers information sessions at local hospitals regarding the various options available to those recovering from injury or trauma. She says, in sickness and in health, I believe that when you look good, you really do feel better. Giving people confidence in their own skin is what drives me to be the best and always to keep learning in the medical and cosmetic tattoo industry. So thank you, Jody, for attending. Take it away.
All right. So first off, thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this presentation with you guys. And I did prepare a little slideshow. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys.
Perfect.
You just have to turn my ability to screen share on, Kelly.
Okay. Multiple participants can share. Okay.
Okay. Just bear with me here, guys.
No worries. That's what I'm most worried about today is the switching of screens.
The logistics, I know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me just see if this pops up now. Here we go.
Perfect.
Okay, let me get out of this view here. Oh, geez. Sorry, guys.
No worries. Looks like a different type of presentation.
It's just Google Slides, but it's not allowing me to.
Oh, do the slideshow
Hold on.
present. There we go.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so welcome to Looking Good and Feeling Better. So this is how to successfully merge your passion with your purpose. So of course, hi, I'm Jody Stoski. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a dog mom, a cancer survivor, and lastly, an entrepreneur. So I'm a wife, I've been married for 20 years. I am a mother of 2 boys, Ryder, who's 16, and Lincoln, who's 12. So ultimately, I am in the throes of teenagerhood, which keeps things interesting, keeps me on my toes. I am a dog mom to Chica, and I own 2 businesses, Cinnamon Girl Clinic and the Jody Stoski Paramedical Tattoo Academy. Cinnamon Girl Clinic is a cosmetic and paramedical tattoo clinic, and the Jody Stoski Paramedical Tattoo Academy is an online academy to actually learn these skills. So I'm going to move forward and just define these different things I do at work for you. So the first thing, and this is at Cinnamon Girl, is cosmetic tattooing. Most of you are probably familiar with these procedures. It's anything from eyebrows to eyeliner to lips. This photo here is about an old school eyebrow done on the top and then redone in kind of what more of the 2020 version looks like. So these tattoos are typically meant to look realistic. We don't want people walking in the room and knowing immediately that you've had a tattoo done. So whether it's brows, eyeliner, lips, I always view these kinds of tattoos as enhancements, and the word tattoo kind of scares people. So next
that was me
up,
and Jody helped me.
yes, and Kelly's a testament to that.
Yes.
Okay. So paramedical tattooing, this is something that isn't as common, and you may not have known or heard about this. So when I mentioned I was a cancer survivor, this is actually my before and after. I had thyroid cancer. This was the thyroidectomy on the left, and then on the right was a year after of me camouflaging and working on my scar to minimize that. So again, paramedical tattooing is even further down the spectrum of something that looks natural to something that looks hyper realistic. So the tattoos that happen in paramedical are often not even noticeable. That's our goal. So next up, there is some graphic content coming up. It has to do with the areola tattooing that I do. And just on a side note, the paramedical tattooing is often found with someone who's had a surgery or has been in a car accident, maybe had cancer, the list goes on. But usually like these kinds of tattoos, you don't know about them until you need to know. Okay, here we come, graphic content. All right, so this is a 3D areola nipple tattoo. So this is for a cancer survivor, obviously. On the top, you can see that she has had a mastectomy. Now, although she is cancer-free, she's had this mastectomy and a reconstruction and implant. So the breast, you know, behind a shirt looks normal, in a bra looks normal, but we're missing the detail of the areola. And this can serve as basically a reminder for somebody of, you know, what they've gone through. And honestly, I would say 100% of the women that come to see me all say that. You know, it's like I'm walking from my bathroom past my mirror into my shower, and, you know, it's like a Barbie boob. It doesn't seem, you know, quote unquote normal in our books. So not only for cancer survivors, but we do work on transgender and obviously breast augmentations, which, you know, most of us know about or have, you know, or have seen. So a breast augmentation isn't always just an implant. It could be a reduction as well, but either surgery leaves you with scars. So these are something that we often camouflage just to make the surgery look less obvious. All right, entrepreneurial spirit. So as a makeup artist, I basically began to see how making women feel confident in their own skin, it was rewarding, and it began to open the book on what would ultimately become my passion in life. So I started off as I started my makeup business called Cinnamon Girl Clinic. And then after 10 years, this is what transformed into Cinnamon Girl Clinic. I was basically the definition of hustle before hustle even existed. So rewinding back, I've actually tattooed over 10,000 cases, both cosmetic and paramedical. So I was obsessed with making my own money as a child even. And ultimately I wanted to be my own boss. So it's not that I couldn't work at a regular job. I worked at regular jobs, but this entrepreneurial spirit came from a place of seeing my father as an entrepreneur. He's an electrical engineer. He's since retired, but every day he'd love going to work. I never heard my dad complain about going to work or grumble about, you know, anything work related. And that's just what I knew. And he always said that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And honestly, I could not agree more. So this March is going to be the 1-year anniversary of the Jody Stoski Paramedical Tattoo Academy. So we're really excited for that. Okay, merging passion with purpose. So I feel like people put a lot of weight on themselves to find their purpose in life. You know, I'd listen to podcasts and so much of it was like, finding your passion and your purpose. And at the end of it, I think it makes most people feel even more stressed out. Like, I don't know what that is. How am I going to find that? And I believe that purpose is more about finding what gets you excited. Like things like, what would you do for free? Passion to me is the execution of that. So when I realized as a makeup artist that making women feel confident in their own skin was exciting, I followed that feeling and it led me to where I am today. I could have never dreamt of where I am, where I would be, nor have even planned for it. So my journey as a paramedical tattoo artist. So I was trained right from the beginning in paramedical tattooing and cosmetic tattooing, which is actually kind of rare these days. And so I've been at it for a while now, 2007 to be exact. And it's what most would probably call me doing my passion. And honestly, this might even be why I'm here on this earth, but honestly, it's what I get excited about and it's what I love to do. So building my online academy has been a big undertaking to say the least. I was so overwhelmed, you guys. I don't even know how to put it in words. I'd sit down at my computer. I had this idea. I knew I wanted to do it, but I would sit down and maybe get a bit written, and then I'd go back and delete it. And then this would just be on rinse and repeat. And I just didn't know how to get over this hurdle of like putting my knowledge out there to someone, teach them, have them understand, and not say the wrong things, have it be perfect. And I was like, overwhelmed was just kind of the tip of the iceberg. So to help me execute my vision, I hired a business coach. So she helped me get over this sort of writer's block that I had and get through those initial hurdles of like, how do I even do this? I don't even know how to put together an online academy. I don't know how to do any of this. And some of even the platforms that I was working on, I didn't even know how to do it. Like it was just like a roadblock at every turn in the road. So after hiring my business coach, I was actually able to grow a 6-figure business in less than a year. So as far as being successful and making money, I found that when you lead with passion and purpose, the money will come. You know, in the past, when I put money first as my priority, it never served me as well as doing what I love. There's just something about coming from a place of doing, you know, what makes you excited that is so different than what makes you money. Money and things and all that stuff is great, but it doesn't fulfill you. And, you know, you hear so many people say that, and that is the truth. So I think when the whole end game is money and things, I think you'll just keep searching for what that actually is for you. So today I work with some of the best plastic surgeons. I create hyper-realistic tattoos. I have a team who runs my online academy, and I still work out of my brick and mortar store, Cinnamon Girl Clinic. So if you want to find me, if you need a paramedical or a cosmetic tattoo, that's where I am.
Perfect.
So finding the right crew. So this is one of the most important things, is finding the right crew, finding your crew. So you need to surround yourself with boss babes, with positive friends and potential people in the industry that you respect and admire. And when I say that, like if I was in someone else's shoes, I'd be like, well, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to be around potential people in the industry? Like that seems kind of challenging. And I think nowadays with social media, you can really reach out to people. You can get in their DMs, you can follow them, you can comment. And these are things that can start to surround you with those people. You don't have to become their best friend or stalk them. It's like the little things that are going to get you in the foot in the door with that. And you may even realize that's maybe not what you want to be doing. That might not be what you're searching for. And recently I made the best decision to hire a marketing agency to help me run my business. So they run Cinnamon Girl and the Paramedical Tattoo Academy. And it's honestly been a game changer. So instead of me agonizing over social media, emails, and like painful logistics that I truthfully hate, I can spend time doing the things I'm good at tattooing, at helping people, changing lives. And that's what translates to money for me. So if you guys need somebody like this, I would honestly refer you guys to check out my marketing team. It's called YYC3. They are truly real life ninjas. Okay, my next slide's not going here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so support creativity opportunities. These come from the people you surround yourself with. You cannot do everything alone. And this is probably something that I did to begin with. It was like the one-man Jody show. And, you know, I'm wearing like a gazillion hats each day. And, you know, as you progress, I think having people around you, having people that can support you is key. And maybe it's a friend, maybe it's your husband that can take on a couple responsibilities to help you move forward. And it's just thinking outside the box of how you can eliminate and avoid being that one-man show. Jeez. Sorry, guys. All right, so moving on to the marketing. This is who I was just talking about. And in the green blouse is actually Haley. She's my main lady. And this is someone who I trust and I delegate my work to. So I have her, I have all my front end staff, and they take care of scheduling, handling all those logistical details. And then YYC helps me with photos, videos, content, and captions, including DMs and more. And this takes a ton of stress and pressure off myself. And they're the ones who actually help me create a lot of my upcoming content for my online courses. And so I have been so excited to be able to execute this stuff with these guys on my side. Okay, daily habits. This is what I do. Some people ask me, what are my routines? So let me share it with you. So I get up an hour before I need to, so I can work out and, let's quote, meditation for now, which has honestly turned into a manifestation practice. So I envision my day, how I'm going to make it amazing, and what other things I want to do to make that happen. I need to rule the paramedical tattoo world, you know? So I need to feel gratitude about what I have. I feel love for my family and my friends, and it kind of goes from there. No manifestation practice is the same for me, because a lot of times I'm focusing on something different and maybe not even related to myself or my day. So I have to keep things light in my world, because just like you guys, I can get bogged down with the stress, managing the work-life balance, and it can get the best of me. So I think it's so important to have fun, keep it light, and those are just some of my takeaways. Lastly, my sleep schedule. Okay, I'm pretty serious about this. So I like to go to bed at the same time. I like to get 8 hours of sleep. If I don't and I get run down, like none of these things that I'm talking about flow very well. So unless, of course, it's, you know, the world's coming to an end like it is right now, and I can stay up till 2 a.m. watching the Queen's Gambit. So there's always that. Okay. Perspective. Fun fact, you guys, I actually almost got this as a tattoo not too long ago, but I didn't. But I still had the picture in my phone, so I wanted to share it. Perspective is one of those things that when you have it, life is easier. And when you don't, it's not. And I think you're sitting there and you can't understand why. Why is this not working? And a lot of times when you cannot maintain perspective, you just can't keep your shit together. You just have to put things in a different light a lot of times. And when you're taking risks, you've got challenges, perspective is key. When you don't have it, I think you just kind of get stopped right in your tracks, and there's not always the ability to move on from that. So even for myself, I have my husband, I'll come home, I'll bounce my day off him, and he's really great at saying, listen, like, who even cares? Like, that's not a big deal. And I just didn't have the perspective at that time to realize that. So talking those things out help. They might not always be the kinds of things that you can see the perspective from your end. So talking with other people, and when you are surrounded by those people who are positive and can help you through it, those are the people you want the perspective from if you can't actually get it from yourself. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I wish you all the success in merging your passion with your purpose. If you want to find me, I'm at jodystoski.com, and I hope you guys really enjoy the rest of the summit today.
Jody, that was phenomenal. I'm like taking notes like crazy.
Thanks.
I love this. You're such an inspiration to myself as well as an entrepreneur. And, you know, you made me really feel good today about all the work I've done to put this summit together and be like, okay, yeah, I did a lot of work. But you're right. When you know, have a passion or you're doing something you love, even though you're busy, it doesn't necessarily feel like work. So for that. I love to, and I think it's important because, yeah, I've been kind of doing my own thing for over 10 years now. And absolutely, when you watch certain podcasts or, you know, listen to things where they're like, you need to follow your passion and all of this stuff. And yeah, it can create more stress. And then
yeah, 100%. I can remember being a little bit almost addicted to podcasts. Like I couldn't consume enough podcasts in the day. If I had a free minute, I'd have my earbud in and I'd be like listening to James Wedmore or Manifestation Babe or anything that I could like sink my teeth in. Like maybe it's going to give me more ideas. Maybe it's going to make me better at what I do. And then what I realized after like being completely like all or nothing with this, which I am with most things, I was like, this is actually causing me to not have any focus. I feel like I'm bouncing around. I can't put my finger on what it is. And I stopped listening to that. And now I kind of, if I am listening to a podcast that I like, I just sort of consume it in small chunks, and I don't necessarily listen to all of it. And if I get started and it's not speaking to me, I don't finish it. So just again, like maintaining that perspective of like, they're not going to give you all the answers. For sure, it's good for inspiration, but to not get overwhelmed by trying to do what other people are doing and use that as your model.
Yeah, absolutely. And to know that, like, even though, you know, there's a million people that maybe not a million in where we are, but there's so many people that do, you know, what you do and do what I do. And you got to stop comparing yourself to those and just focus on what you do best, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for how, you know, especially for as an entrepreneur and kind of starting your own thing from scratch, like we have ups and downs, right? Like it's not all rainbows and unicorns all the time. So what tips do you have to kind of get through those times when you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I can't do this. I don't know, you know, what's helped you get through?
So one of like the things that instantly comes to mind is I'd be sitting at the table, like my head in my hands, and my husband would walk by. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, honestly, I don't even know where to start. Like, I'm so overwhelmed. I've got this to do. I've got, you know, a presentation. I've got an online launch. I've got like, I'm running 2 businesses and I'm drowning. And he's like, Jody, how do you eat an elephant? And I'm like, one bite at a time. So that's my tip. There's nothing super magical about what to do when you're overwhelmed, except brick by brick. That's how you end up building something massive, is one brick at a time. And that is the advice I still give myself today.
Mm-hmm. And it's so hard, right? Like, I'm sure you can relate. It's like when you have that in you and you have all of these ideas, you just want to do it all, and it needs to be done now, right? So that's advice, just step by step, day by day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also good to have the big picture, like at the end there. But even for me, like I didn't even know what the big picture was until I started getting into it. Like I had half my brick wall built before I knew what that was actually going to lead to. So if I was trying to do it at the first brick and create something, like I didn't even know what the vision was. So I think it is important just to really scale it back into small things. And when you hit that milestone, you set the next one and then the next one, and it changes and transforms as you go.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And I also love what you said about like surrounding yourself with the right people and the people who are there to support you. It sounds like your husband and my husband have a lot in common of like kind of helping you take that step back and be like, okay, let's chill for a minute. And you know, finding the help that you need too, like the social media help, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I know that you and I did not grow up with social media, so it's a learning, right? And to have that help could take so much stress off.
And one of the things that I wish I would have been able to incorporate into my business earlier that I didn't know how to manage, or like how to make it a positive experience, is when I would see other competition. Because at the beginning, I didn't really have any. So I didn't, it just wasn't a part of my world, which is pretty incredible as a business owner to not really have competition to start with. But moving forward, as other people entered the industry and it became more competitive, I didn't know how to put community over competition. Like I didn't know. As soon as people started coming into what I thought was like my turf, I felt defensive, and I felt like we were kind of pitting each other against themselves. And I think women can be really, you know, hard to work with and hard to be working sort of in that same world. And now today I do really have a great community of colleagues, but it's taken up till now. And I didn't know how to do that. So whatever you do choose to do, if you can make a community with the people that are already in there, instead of making them like your competition or your enemies or whatever, that is a much better foot to lead with than the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly, you know, kind of why I wanted to do this today, is because I think it is important that we all support each other, and, you know, whether it's through business or, you know, life in general. I mean, that's so, so important. And I'm just going to share your, the rest of your stuff here. There we go. Yeah, and I love hearing that from you. See, it's funny, and this is another example of a lot of us who are doing our own thing, because I love to hear this from you, because as an outsider looking in, you got it all together. Like, you know what you're doing. It's no problem, you know, so it's really nice to hear that, yeah, everyone struggles a little bit, and that you can just continue to push forward and get to where you need to be. So I love it.
I will say I don't have it all together. And that's probably, you know, an image that you see. I struggle just like everybody else. And, you know, I have been at this for a long time. So there's probably a certain amount of ease that comes with like what I say or what I talk about. But, you know, it's like practicing anything. Like if you practice tennis and you really suck at it, and you play it for 10 years, and then you talk to me when I'm the 10-year tennis player, you'd be like, so good, so easy, I can't serve like that. It's the same thing.
So true, so true. So just to summarize then, I mean, you did touch on it a little bit, but what does living beautiful mean to you?
I think living beautiful means to me that you're being true to yourself, you're having fun, you're not putting copious amounts of stress to sort of just keep achieving the next thing. I think you really have to stop and smell the roses along the way, and being kind, giving back. Those are things that I try and do on the daily.
Love it. I'm going to have to rewatch this one.
Oh, thanks, Kelly.
So thank you so much, Jody. I can't tell you how grateful I am to have you speak and take the time out of your busy, crazy day, especially now that things are open again, which is like, woo.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and people have your information. Sorry, I did put your cinnamon girl, but you had the Jody Stoski as well. And the great thing about your stuff is it all connects. So
it does. And I mean, I think what's probably relevant for your people who are at the summit today is somebody who, if they did want any kind of tattooing, they would end up at Cinnamon Girl. As far as my entrepreneurial journey, that I spoke today a little bit more about the Jody Stoski end of things.
Yeah, exactly. No, love. Well, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your day, and yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks so much for having me.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah. Love this. I'm so happy, Jessica, that you reached out to me on social media. You guys are going to love this girl. You're going to love her accent for those of you who are from Canada and the States. But I'll just do a quick introduction here before we let her get started. Oh yeah, we're doing good for time. I wonder, what are we, 5 minutes ahead? I just want to make sure we have all of your viewers. And what time is it there for you now, Jessica? Oh, I think you're on mute still.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. What time is it there?
So it's nearly 6 o'clock in the evening tonight. So
Okay.
kind of a nice wind down to the day.
Yeah, and you are in, just let everyone know where you're from.
I'm in Manchester in the UK, so I know it's going to be a little bit of a different accent for you today.
Yeah, it's great. And honestly, we'll put up where to follow you on social media, but Jessica, the best like Instagram stories and posts. So you'll definitely have to give her a follow. So yeah, so just a bit of an introduction here for Jessica. So she is a mindset and success coach who is currently accepting, actually no, Jess, your program is closed, right? Did you fill up?
It closes on Monday. I've actually got 2 spaces left now for the coaching program.
Okay.
So you've just got in there just before it closes. So this is a good introduction for you.
Yeah, perfect. Because I was thinking I got your stuff a couple days ago, so probably changed. So she's accepting 2 more clients to her 6-week one-to-one program. In her coaching methods, she finds passion in combining the fire within you and your life purpose with a real consistent, pragmatic approach to ensure we make it happen. That's what Jessica says. So think visualization and high vibrational inner work, while also having that accountability partner to keep you motivated on a daily basis. Oh my gosh, we need that. Jessica is committed to an equal part energy relationship between the two of you. Together, you will reflect on limiting beliefs that may be holding you back and find a solution to understand, work with them, and overcome them. So doors close, yep, like Jessica said, on Monday, the 25th. So if you'd like to know more, again, I'm going to post her information for Instagram where you can follow her and get in touch if you like. So go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so as I'm sure you can see from the screen, so I am, as Kelly just said, I'm a mindset and success coach. So I really focus on connecting with your core values and what like really lights you up. And I think this is really important for the topic of this summit, like living beautifully. To me, that's kind of connecting with what lights you up and what really drives you and makes you feel fulfilled. Are you hearing me okay? You all let me know if the Wi-Fi goes.
Yeah,
the Wi-Fi sometimes a bit off here. So yeah, so to me it really is about matching your habits on a daily basis to what you really align with on a core value, because honestly not many people really have the time to reflect and think about what they really value on a deep level, because obviously life can get so fast, life can get, you get caught up in the like momentum of life, and before you know it, you're doing things that you don't actually align with on a deep level. So the reason why I felt inspired to speak about this today is because of a certain kind of quote, kind of jokey comment that I hear a lot of people saying, and it is, on a humorous level, but I think when you really, even on a jokey level, connect with this comment, it promotes this idea that your life is only for you on a Saturday and a Sunday. And the quote is living for the weekend. So I don't know if that's something that's just my age group that talk about it, but I hear a lot of people like, oh, I'm just living for the weekend, Friday feeling, which is great to feel great about the weekend, but
it's in a song, right? Who's the one?
Who is it?
About it. Well, I don't know. You probably don't know. You're a little bit younger, but I know there is a song. If anyone knows who sings the song,
I don't mean to offend the singer.
No, it's good.
No. So yeah, basically for me, when I see this, like when I see people kind of promoting this idea of living for the weekend, that's 104 days of the year. Like if you're living for the weekend, you're living for less than 30% of your life, and that just kind of promotes almost like sitting back and letting life happen and not taking control to go for what you want, because you've only got 2 days a week to do it. So these tips are kind of based around how to move away from the live for the weekend kind of vibe and make whatever your routine, whatever your schedule, make it look more like your life for you. So these tips are trial and error based. They are supposed to be quite wide so that they suit more walks of life, whether you're a CEO, a side hustler, 9 to 5, whether you love your 9 to 5 job and it's not part of your life purpose but you still enjoy it nonetheless, that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm not shunting any kind of lifestyle. It's more to expand your routine, adjust it a little bit and make it more to your values and what makes you like light up. So number one is, if we get right into it, number one is to elongate and elevate your waking hours. So again, in a broad sense, that can be done quite a few ways. So you could either get up earlier than you need to, like Jody said she does in the past, getting up an hour earlier than you need to, or you can wake up, you can stay up later in the night, or even if you don't want to adjust your schedule, to just respect your break a little bit. So I guess many people might have heard of it, and I'm sure you can all relate, when you're on a weekend away, or you've got a weekend with all your friends making loads of different plans, and you've got so many different memories that the weekend feels like super long. It feels really stretched, that many physicists say time is an illusion, and it kind of is. Like, it, that's your own opinion, it's too big a topic for me to go into now. But when you make more memories and your brain is more stimulated from different things in one space of time, it does create that illusion that time stretches. However, on the opposite scale, I'm sure all of us have sat on a lunch break maybe one day and just been on your phone for the whole hour. And then before you know it, that hour feels like 5 minutes and you're back at work. Like, I know I've done it myself. And it just promotes that, like, it does show you how time feels like it shrinks and time feels like it expands, depending on how much your brain is stimulated by at one point. So the reason why I share this tip is because if you create more space, or even just respect the space you have in your day, it creates that feeling of the time being longer, for the day being longer. So Monday to Friday, your day doesn't have to be just waking up to go to work, to then come home, maybe squeeze in like a Netflix episode, and then go to sleep, and then round and around until Saturday hits and you've got Friday feeling. And it doesn't have to be like a huge adjustment. It just is a difference of how you approach the time in your day. Now, this one can feel like, a lot of people can kind of be like, well, I don't want to wake up early, or it doesn't feel like a priority to me, which is why I want to share the example of, say you've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow in the morning and it's before work, so you've got to get up. Like, you would wake up and you'd make your appointment. Maybe it's because you've got that accountability of, like, that you need to go, or that you've got a doctor to report to and kind of hold you accountable for that. But also, that's a decision you made and no one made you make that decision. So the best part about that, like the most empowering part of that, is you can shift that decision from something you have to do to something you choose to do for the better of yourself. And the reason why this can really help you live beautiful, make life work for you, is when you create more space in your day for you, whether it is just like having a moment to yourself, reading a book, watching a film, like doing something just for you. It's like that metaphor, when they say, like, dusty water, mucky water is best cleared by leaving it to settle. Because that space that you create in your day, it lets new feelings, new emotions and new ideas rise to the surface, and it quite often can help you understand how you want your life to look and what your values are, and again, through trial and error of how you're spending this time, how you want to spend that time more often. So leading on, and this is kind of an example of tip 2, is to invest in yourself. This can be investing with money, investing with time, investing with energy. I know the initial assumption is to invest with money, and that's great. There's many ways you can do that. For example, putting more money into your food shop for the week, so you can buy healthier food, as obviously usually it is more expensive, or even just like going to a gym class or hiring a coach. And that's not the only thing you can invest in, that you can invest your energy and time without spending another penny. And by doing this, it can be things like elongating your day, or investing your energy in the relationships that you hold with the people around you, investing in, just having some self-reflection, or investing in going out of your way to spend more time cooking, even if you're spending the same amount of money. And this is perfect for shaping your belief in yourself, because creating the action and the habit that you are investing in yourself, and you're investing in your worth, is a really good way to show not only yourself, on a spiritual level, the universe, but also the people around you, how you are worthy of these investments. So that could be just investing in time, and investing could be even an act of setting a boundary, or investing in spending more time with your friends. Like I said, the fact that you're showing the universe how you deserve and you want to be treated and you want your life to go, it brings it all back to you in the people that see that and know that that's how you want to be treated. And also the universe, with the law of attraction, if that's something you believe in. But also think of the person that you'll be when you are investing time in yourself, when you're respecting that time that you have for yourself. This is like a domino effect, because when you feel better, you are nicer, like you are more kind. When you feel like you're being kind to yourself, you pass this on, and that in a way is not only making your life like more fulfilling, but it's making other people's as well, which I just think on a tangent is a nice thing to live by. So going on to tip 3, and these kind of all do lead into each other, and tip 3 can really help you like ensure that you solidify step 1 and step 2, like tip 1 and tip 2 into your life. And that is the tip of setting goals. Now, this is such a broad tip, I know that. And the reason why I want to talk about this is to talk about it in a little bit more of a like aligned way with the kind of goals you set in. Now, I think on a personal level, I think that many people are very quick to set goals with the career. Like in many career paths, it's a very progressive journey from working up or, you know, accomplishing things within the workplace that you'll set goals with. Even if they're not goals you've set yourself, you're constantly working towards something. But I really want to propose the idea that you take a look at the goals you're setting for your personal growth, for just you. So the way that you can kind of define whether this is a personal growth goal is, well, this is how I do it. If you were to look at everything around you just dissolving, and all of your external like definitions of yourself, whether that's your job, your relationship, your health, like the amount of times you go to the gym, anything, if all of this was to go and dissolve, would this personal growth goal still exist? So for me, the reason why I'm giving this talk is because my personal growth goal is to speak and get more comfortable with public speaking. So this is how I came across Kelly's Instagram and how I came across this summit. So for me, if I didn't have my job and I didn't have my relationship and I didn't have the people around me, this goal would still stand. And I know I'm promoting my job here and with the talk, but the actual tips and the act of public speaking still stands. And the reason why I think this is a really imperative tip, is because if you are someone that sees your Monday to Friday to be quite work dominated, then even if you have a bad week, even if you don't sign your clients that you're after, or you to hit your targets that you're after, if you know that you've been setting and achieving personal goals throughout the week, then it still creates that feeling of achievement and pride, and that can be a big motivator for the career goals that you're going after, for the other things that you're working towards. So, you know, I challenge you, set yourself some personal goals, let me know how they go, and yeah, so that's tip 3. I don't know why I'm trying to continue with that. So tip 4 is one that I got from a good friend, Nish. She's a career coach, and I actually met her through my Instagram, and she's been a great motivator and inspiration to, just as a tangent, to when I was launching my business, to see that you can launch your business in whatever way feels true for you without comparing yourself to other people. Like, the most inspiring way to feel confident in your own business is to do it your way, is what I think. And this was a really good inspiration for that. So I actually found this point on one of her posts, so you should definitely go and check her out. This point is for the burnout gang of the universe, of the planet. Now, I'm someone that really struggles with burnout. I have done for a very long time. I get very high peaks of energy, and then I get big slumps because I work too much through that energy and I don't give myself any rest. And that's why this tip was such a game changer. So the tip is to set yourself an end of day ritual every day. And when I say end of day, I mean, like, I suggest end of work day, because especially with coronavirus at the moment, with a lot of people working from home, there's a very difficult distinguish between work and rest, and like focus and rest. And I think that can be quite damaging to our rest time, because there's such a, like, you just want to answer that last email, or, you know, send that last message, or, you know, do that one thing that you haven't done and you need to do this today. But before you know it, you're going hours and hours into your rest time, and it's tipping over your energy levels to the next day. So whatever this ritual may be, whether it's like closing your laptop, putting it in another room. Maybe if you're not working from home, it could be your drive home, just like listening to your favorite music, you know, whatever works for you. For me, it's an hour of no screen time. So I'll put my laptop down, put my phone down, run a bath, you know, candles on, this kind of like, you cannot work now. And that transition period is a really good message sent to my body to be like, that's it now. And that's why it's really helped my burnout and like having a more regulated energy level across the week, because it's that instant versus delayed gratification. Because when I'm working through my breaks and working past my like time to finish, that's the instant gratification, because I'm feeling like I'm being productive and proactive and, you know, smashing these extra to-do list tasks. But what's it actually happening is then the next few days, if this keeps going, I end up crashing so much that I can't do any more work. So when you create more boundaries in your work day to maintain that good level, you get the delayed gratification, which is a more regulated, more like calm and consistent energy level to keep you working most effectively. And that's also like on another level a really good way of setting boundaries for yourself, which I think is why this is a really interesting tip, because many people set boundaries with friends, with other people, and it's obviously, it's been so like it's been brought into like the, I've forgotten the word, you know, kind of become popular and become more spoken about to set more boundaries, which is great. Like there's nothing to criticize there. However, I think what we've actually been missing is setting boundaries with ourselves, because that's acknowledging that that's acknowledging that we're not perfect and we have room to grow, and kind of going against our ego of wanting to work. When you're getting into this habit of setting a boundary with yourself on a daily basis, it creates it to be more comfortable and for you to get better at identifying where you need to set those boundaries with yourself and also with others as well. So taking me into the final tip, which I think is the best one because it's a little bit more fun, it's to celebrate your wins. Now, I'm sure everyone loves celebrating and rewarding themselves, but if I asked you how often you really did it, I obviously can't hear your answer, but I'm gonna assume that it's not as much as you would like to. Now, I think this is because with the kind of like social media and with everything going on where everyone can see everything that's going on, there's always someone that's done more and that's achieved more or achieved it sooner. So we might set these goals for ourselves and work towards these goals, but as soon as we get there, I find that in many people, there's that almost like, oh, right, well, that's done now, on to the next, without a real reward. And even more so than this, the goalposts are so far away that when you're on your way, it feels so overwhelming and like deflating because it's so far away until you get there. And then the next one is so far away again. And if I'm honest, to me, that is like the living for the weekend version of goal setting, because it's like having your 21st birthday and then saying, okay, well, I'm not going to celebrate until my 30th. Celebrate every year, like celebrate every win, because they're all step forwards. It's like what Jody said in the last one, like one brick at a time. And that's one brick at a time is still one more than yesterday or last week. And instead of thinking I've got nothing and now I need to build a whole wall out of nowhere. So these big wins not only keep you striving to keep working because you know that there's a reward just around the corner and not 10 miles away, but also it helps you look back and see how far you've come, because there's more opportunity to look back, because that's where you look back at the point of celebrating. Now, when I say celebrate, again, this is so to do with what celebration and what a reward feels like for you and what's going to make you feel the most motivated, because one person's win and also like actually what they're celebrating is going to be so different to the next person. So don't try not to compare to other people when you're celebrating. If it's made you feel good and it's made you feel like you've accomplished something, then celebrate it. And I'm going to add another challenge to celebrate 3 wins in the next 7 days. And even if even if you get to the end of the week and you feel like you haven't won or achieved anything, then take a moment to reflect and still pick 3, whatever they are. You can, you can celebrate them as they come along, or you can wait till the end of the week and then have a triple celebration. Like, I can't control that. That's completely up to you and what feels best for you. So these are the tips. I know that I've given you a lot of information all in one go, and I hope that you can take it all in because these kind of things are, just like I said, they're daily habits and ways that you can stretch your day to make it suit you without disrupting too much. Now, I don't know what everyone's day looks like, and I know that some people's day is a lot longer. Like, for example, my boyfriend works so much longer days than I do, so it's quite difficult for me to be like, this is how you fit it in. But if you can take anything from these points, even if it's just one thing, then please try it. Please do what feels right for you, and I hope that it works and improves your life in some way. And thank you for watching.
That was the best. No, we just love listening to you. I'm getting texts from some of my friends on here. They're like, oh my gosh. Anyways, no, wonderful tips, a lot to share, which is fantastic. So a couple of questions here. Okay, first one. What if I don't yet know what I want to do with my life, but I know I want more? And is this like, oh yeah, and is this program still for me? So you don't have a specific goal, but you know you want something. What do you do?
Well, so in terms of my coaching program, which this question is about, I would say 100%, like wherever in the like continuum of knowing where you're going or what you want in life, the program is so perfect for you, because it's not a one-size-fits-all program. From the first week, from the free call that we have before to work out if we're right for each other and I can help and we can facilitate that growth, we create the program to suit your needs. So 4 out of the 6 weeks have overarching themes to keep us on the right track. However, like week 2, which is finding your why and really creating that end vision, which would really relate to the question here, like finding out where you want to go. We start where you are. There's no basis of questions that begin and make, the questions are in tune to what your needs are. So if you don't know what you want, then that's what we'll look into. We'll look deeper into your core values. But if you do know what you want, but you just need more clarity on getting there, we'll start there and we'll discuss, have those conversations that are further on. And I think that's what's the best part about it, because there's not, me as a coach, like, it's in my best interest and my best interest for your best interest that you find momentum, you find clarity, and you get a transformation out of this program. And that's not going to happen if I'm sat here being like, you need to know your why. That's what the session's about, finding it and understanding it.
I love that. And also not just for people who are looking to be an entrepreneur, right? Like this is for anyone in your day-to-day job. Like, where do you want to go? What are your goals? Or I think too, some people kind of know they want to do something of their own and have certain ideas. So this is a great way. It sounds like you can kind of just really pull from their thoughts and feelings and what they're interested in to kind of help set that goal or set that path.
Definitely. Like, there's been a whole range of people that I've coached in the past. So like I've had from, business owners to teachers, and, both sessions were completely different, but both included similar techniques to find out their why and find out that what they're doing is in tune for them, because everyone's so different. And that's a strength. Like, it's a strength to have your unique values. So the more you know about your unique purpose and values, the more progress you can make with them.
Yeah. Love. Okay. Next question. I'm not very spiritual. Will I understand what we work through in these sessions? Yeah. So someone who's not very spiritual, will they kind of get where you're going with them? Yeah.
So this is an interesting question, because I know if any of you do see my Instagram, I do speak a lot about spirituality. And as a person, I am a very spiritual person. However, since launching my page a year ago, and it was a spiritual blog, I've become so much more understanding, and I really see the importance of the pragmatic, like results focused action that is really necessary to create this progress. So I don't actually go too much into any spiritual techniques in the program, more just like, so certain visualization, like really incorporating both your right side of the brain and your left side of the brain to create that deep vision for your future. So spiritual wise, we don't use too many techniques about that. It's more just effective techniques that are known by most of, like, by some of the top leaders and most successful athletes, business owners in the world, that these are the kind of techniques and habits that these people incorporate. So
yeah, love. Great. And last question, someone asks, can I book the sessions when I feel like it?
Okay, so the answer is no to this. Now, I want to say unfortunately no, but it's not unfortunate. It's completely in your best interest. I've had experience with coaching clients that have booked their next sessions as and when, and that accountability factor, that is really, really important in my program and in coaching sessions in general. It's lost a bit because the client doesn't know when the next work into the next goal. So I have a general rule. Obviously, life happens, and I'm not going to tell you off if something you really need to reschedule. It's not about creating like a power struggle. It's more that it's in the best interest to have the accountability, which is why the general rule for my coaching program is it's 6 consecutive weeks, and we will book the next session at the end of the current session. So obviously it might not be like 7 days. However, you will know by the end of each session what your next action step is and when it needs to be done by, in order for us to make the next amount of progress at the next session.
It's kind of like having a workout buddy, right? You may not feel like going, but you have that person.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's scientifically proven. It's like what I said with the doctor's appointment. Like, when you have someone else to answer to, that accountability partner, the emotional brain in you doesn't want to like let that down, because it stings your ego. Your ego doesn't want to look like a quitter or like lazy or whatever. That's like the emotional side. So it is really, really strong to have a accountability partner, and that's the role I undertake in the coaching program.
Yeah, perfect. So I've got up on the screen now where people can connect with you, and if any of you are on Instagram, because Instagram is a little bit different than the rest of the platforms, but you will love Jessica's posts. She's always got something fun and interesting to say, and you're so creative. I think that's your like art background coming out.
Yeah.
Right?
I studied fine art at uni, so I think that does come out.
Yeah, you'd think honestly like you have a whole film crew, and like it's great. So you're so much fun to follow, and yeah, again, I'm so grateful that you reached out to me. I think you're obviously a great fit for the summit, just as everyone is. Kind of tried to get the best of the best, really, and just help supporting small businesses, and especially in a time like this. So just to quickly summarize, like, I don't know if you have a short sentence, but because you did touch on what Live Beautiful means to you, but what does Live Beautiful mean to you?
I think to me, it means, in like a more shortened way, would be practicing daily habits that connect with your deepest inner values. I could go on, but I think I covered it in the end.
No, that's great. No, that's perfect. It makes sense. So, so again, thank you so much. Everyone, feel free to connect with Jessica. You can book a free consultation if you just want to kind of know how she can help, if you're a right fit. And yeah, like I said, have fun following her. So thank you so much, Jess. And it's, well, the end of the day for you. I don't know if you're going to stick around a little bit more, but yeah, it was great having you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a really great experience.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, see you. We'll be in.
See ya.
I'm Kelly Summers. I'm the owner of Belle Live Beautiful. I graduated from Mount Royal nursing program in 2007. And because I've always had a passion for preventative medicine and nutrition, I also completed an advanced nutrition diploma and became a certified holistic nutritionist. So I have over 13 years of experience working with every age group from infants to seniors, and we'll provide professional advice you can trust and promise to help you start off the year right and not on a diet. So today we are going to talk about the 3 biggest weight loss mistakes. Here we go. Okay, so thank you again everyone for joining. We will get started. So the number 1 weight loss mistake is you go on a diet. That's, I think, the number 1 biggest mistake that you can make when it comes to not only weight loss, but just in general, starting a healthy lifestyle. And you cannot trick the human body. When we go on a diet, our body literally thinks that it's dying if you start losing weight quickly. And it's going to do everything that it can to stop you from losing weight because it doesn't want you to die. So as silly as it sounds, honestly, we have to think back to caveman days, really, and the fact that it was feast or famine. Our body was just simply about how can we survive, how can we get through this day, how can we get through these months, etc. So really important to always keep that in mind. And I think a lot of people don't, necessarily believe that, right? They think, oh, there's this new diet out there. It's been proven to do this, this, and that. And unfortunately, it's not the case. When you go on a diet, there will always be an endpoint, right? So typically, we are, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, right? You've planned a trip, maybe to Mexico or Hawaii or somewhere where it's bikini weather, and you're like, okay, a month before, 3 months before, whatever it is, I'm going to start this diet. I'm going to choose, the latest, greatest diet, and I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to feel so good in my bikini or in my Speedo for those of you, and you're just gonna, get really fit. So you work out like crazy, right? You're restricting yourself, but you're losing the weight and you're feeling good. Then you get to Mexico and, oh yeah, margarita, sure, give me 3. Tacos, yes, please, right? And you just go crazy. Because now you're there, you've made your goal weight or whatever it may be, your clothes are fitting better, you're feeling confident, and now you're like, oh, thank goodness it's done, now I can have fun. So I'm sure a lot of you have been there before. Then you come back and you're like, well, I'm just too busy to continue with this diet or healthy eating or planning, and it's all gone out the window. So, you thought you were making progress, you thought you were going to stick to this forever and be able to, just continue eating the way you were eating, and you get back to reality and you're like, I can't do this. This is way too restrictive. So, fact. Studies show that when people lost no more than 10% of their body weight over 6 months or longer, they were able to keep it off long term. Because when you're losing weight slowly, your body's not panicking, right? And it's not going to slow your metabolism down to stop you from losing weight. And if you calculate what that looks like, 10% of 200 pounds, 20 pounds over 6 months, that's a bit more realistic. A lot of these diets are telling you, you're going to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks or something crazy. So always important. And even though that's not what we want to hear, right? People usually, when they make the decision to make a lifestyle change or they book that trip, they don't have 6 months to kind of take it slow. So they always want to do the quick fix. But it's really important to remember that health is not about the weight you lose, but it's about the life you gain. Okay, so if you're on this crazy restrictive diet, you're probably not having too much fun, but you're losing weight. But is that really where you want to be? Or do you want to kind of be focusing on, wow, I can actually walk up the stairs without losing my breath, or, kind of those non-scale victories. I feel healthier. I have better focus, those kinds of things. And really, don't punish yourself. I'm sure a lot of us have been there, right? So you eat a hamburger or fries, and the next day you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta burn that off. So you kill yourself exercising for 3 hours at a time or whatever it may be, right? Or you exercise for the purpose to be able to eat what you want. Well, that's not really the best mentality, because you know what? Again, you're only thinking of food as like a reward or then a punishment, as opposed to how is it fueling my body? What is it doing to me, inside my body? And what is this going to do for the long term? So it's really important to not punish yourself. And how many diets have there been? Okay, like these are just a few that I could think of. I remember when Jennifer Aniston was doing The Zone, maybe she still does, who knows? There's always been those quick fixes like Slim Fast and Jenny Craig. Atkins, which now honestly today the new Atkins is keto, yes. And intermittent fasting is the biggest one. That's the one I get the most questions about. They all do the same thing. They're restrictive. You're restricting calories. You lose weight quickly, water weight. You're not actually losing fat that quickly, and they're just unrealistic. You can't maintain this going forward. So, and there's always going to be a new diet coming out. And it's going to sound like it's the latest and greatest, and wow, the scientists have finally figured it out, how we can trick our bodies. It's not going to happen. And the diet life cycle, this is again something that we see so often. So you go on a diet, you start restricting either calories, grams of fat, carbs, food groups all together, and then you're going to lose 5 to 10 pounds in the first week, and you're like, this is great, I feel awesome, I'm so happy I'm losing weight, this is going to be so good for me, it's going to continue, and I'm going to be where I want to be in no time. But your body again thinks that it's dying, and it's going to slow your metabolism down. So now you've decreased your calorie intake, your metabolism is going to slowly slow down to match that. And once that happens, you stop losing weight as quickly. So you get frustrated, the scale isn't moving, you lost 5 pounds last week and 1 pound this week, what's going on? I must be needing to restrict more, and your metabolism goes down again, and then you stop losing weight. So it's just one of those things, and eventually you just give up. You're like, okay, this isn't working anymore, I'm just going to go back to the way I was living before. But your metabolism remains slow because it does take a while to get it revved up again to where it was. So you gain weight back, and you typically gain more than you gained or more than you weighed in the first place. And because, you're like, I'm done. Now I'm going to go eat that bucket of ice cream or that bag of chips or whatever it is. And you binge, feel like crap. And then you go, oh my gosh, okay, Monday, I'm starting again. I'm going to do it, and this time I'm going to do it for good, right? And around and around and around we go. And the problem with this yo-yo dieting lifestyle is it really does do more damage than you think it does to your metabolism, to, the way your body processes, sugars, all of that stuff. And, you end up continually gaining weight over your lifetime, to the point when, you're maybe in your 60s and now you just can't lose weight at all. And anything you eat makes you gain weight. So really important to keep that in mind. And there are so many factors. So I spent over 1.5 years working with adults, most of them who were struggling with severe obesity. And the biggest thing that they took away from our program was that, wow, it isn't just calories in, calories out. I'm not doing something wrong because my, trainer tells me to cut carbs and eat, 1,000 calories a day. There are other things that cause our bodies to either not be able to lose weight or hold on to weight, right? So genetics, yeah, unfortunately or fortunately for some people, genetics play a huge role in how you gain and lose weight. Medications, big time. Hormones, especially for women, right? We're fluctuating throughout the month, and that too, we have to keep in mind. There's going to be weeks in a month where you don't feel good. Remember, it's just hormones. Thyroid, you know, yes, you get a blood test and your doctor says your thyroid is fine, but, you know, has it been trending down over those, you know, last 3 years? Socioeconomic status, absolutely. You know, the unfortunate piece is that healthy food can be so expensive, and if you can get a Happy Meal for, gosh, I don't even know what they cost these days, $5 or whatever, you know, you're gonna feel like that's the better option for you. Behavioral, you know, so there's a lot of the clients that I had that had severe trauma as a child, you know, where they developed some really unhealthy habits. Either, you know, they were locked in a closet while their parents left, you know, went drinking, gambling, and they had no food. So once they were had access to food, they would binge because they don't know when they're going to get their next meal, right? And then even something as terrible as being raped, right? I had women who came to the program knowing they wanted to lose weight because it was affecting their health, but they were so afraid to lose the weight because they didn't want to be attractive to anyone again. And not only that, your body actually will physically hold on to weight to protect itself. So I guess one thing to keep in mind is if you do see anyone struggling with weight, please don't ever just assume they're lazy, they're sitting on the couch, they're eating chips all day. I can tell you for sure that a lot of my clients ate healthier than the average person. So something to keep in mind. Unfortunately, the world we live in, there's expectations. We're supposed to work harder, eat faster, sit longer, run the kids, well, maybe not now, but you know, a year ago to 6 different activities and sleep, maybe if you have time, but it's not a priority, right? But we're supposed to be happier, thinner, fitter, and able to keep it all together. So what is going on? Who is putting these pressures on us? And is this realistic? Absolutely not. It will always come back to balance. If you have heard me speak before, balance is my favorite word because truly it will always come back to balance. In anything in life, if you're out of balance, as you can see the definition here, you know, you're not able to remain upright and steady. If, you know, things are not in correct proportions, you're out of balance and it's just not something that's sustainable. Number 2 biggest weight loss mistake, you only focus on numbers. Weight, like I showed you before with all of the different factors, is so complex. And when it comes to obesity, it's actually considered a complex chronic disease. So it's not, again, calories in, calories out. It's just not that simple. And the number on the scale is just so insignificant and we give too much power to that scale. My advice, toss it. Honestly, if you do have one and you want to just kind of check in once in a while, once a month, maybe, you know, okay. But otherwise, don't even bother. The scale weighs muscle, organs, bone, water, fat, and the waste sitting in your gut, right? So your weight is going to fluctuate day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, and that's okay. So why do we think that the minute we step on the scale, if we've gained weight, it's fat. If we've lost weight, it's fat. Absolutely not the case. So really important to shift your focus away from that number on the scale. And it's not a measure of your self-worth. The saddest thing I can tell you was, again, working at the bariatric specialty clinic. You know, I would see my clients once every couple weeks or once a month, and they would, you know, I would greet them and they would come in and, you know what, I'm feeling great. I've been eating better. I can walk up the stairs without being out of breath. I can get on the floor and play with my kids and stand up without any issues. You know, all of these wonderful things. And then we would have to weigh them because they wanted to collect statistics. And we get on the scale. Oftentimes I would say, don't even look. But if they did see that number, whether they gained or maybe lost or didn't lose as much as they wanted to, that was it. The rest of those non-scale victories went out the window and, you know, completely shut down. So really, really important not to focus on the scale. And not only the scale, okay, BMI. You've probably heard, if you've gone to your doctor or if you've had a baby, right? We're constantly calculating in healthcare, unfortunately, that BMI. And all it's doing is comparing your height to your weight. So if you look at this photograph, it's basically saying that if your height and weight adds up to a BMI of 30 to 35, you're considered obese, and that's what you're going to look like. Not the case at all. This is an example where, the guy on the left technically has a healthy BMI, right? And the guy on the right is considered overweight or obese. And that's because muscle weighs more than fat. But, this person maybe has a healthy lifestyle and they run and they're active and, they have all that muscle. The other one, doesn't eat well, smokes, doesn't exercise, drinks a lot, but heck, the doctor says, well, your BMI is perfect, so nothing to worry about. And yeah, that is unfortunately the case a lot of times. So numbers really, in most cases, just don't matter. And number 3 biggest weight loss mistake, you're not having fun. If you're not having fun, how are you going to sustain this? And it's not even necessarily that you have to be fun, like woohoo, yay, every day, but you shouldn't be feeling tortured. Everything you put in your mouth, you're worried about, is this the right thing? Am I going to gain weight? How many carbs am I having? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't eat a banana, and it's just causing you're hungry, you're cranky or hangry. I know that is me 100%. You're tired, you're not able to focus on your work or play with your kids or do the things you need to do, and you're irritable. You're lonely because you're socially isolating yourself, okay, outside of COVID, but you're not going to those certain get-togethers, going for lunch with friends, going to different parties because you're worried you're going to be presented with this food that on this diet you're not supposed to be eating, right? So that's causes a problem for sure. And we're bombarded with these advertisements, that we're supposed to be something like this 40-year-old mom of 3. She's lost 50 plus pounds in 14 days, and here's 10 easy hacks for moms. That's not realistic, nor is it safe. But this is the unfortunate piece with our society, is we're so focused on losing weight, and how do we do it fast and now? And, it's just not fair that this is made to be normal. And when you see celebrity moms out there, touting on social media that they've lost all of their baby weight within 3 weeks of having a baby, that's not healthy. That's not healthy for you. That's not healthy for your baby, especially if you're breastfeeding. So it's really, really unfortunate. Fact, small, realistic changes that fit into your lifestyle will ensure that the effort you're putting in will result in long-term changes. And trust me, you don't have to suffer. Yes, there are times when, we maybe go a little bit off track from, say, our healthy diet, right? It's Christmas or barbecue season, whatever it is. And sure, there are times that, you might have to tweak things up a little bit, but you don't have to torture yourself, nor should you. So think sustainable. Ask yourself and be honest, can I do this for the rest of my life? And if the answer is no, then it's probably not going to be sustainable. Can you is one thing, but should you, right? So even though they're telling you, maybe you hear keto or intermittent fasting is something that you can live the rest of your life healthy, but really, is it realistic? Do you want to live your life like that? Or do you want to learn how to just live a healthy, balanced lifestyle and feel good? So something to think about. Life is uncertain. Life throws you curveballs. So even though you've picked up a book that tells you exactly what you should eat, how many millions of people are reading that same book? And how different are those millions of people? completely different. Just because, you know, I eat, I don't even know because I don't count calories, but, you know, say I eat 2,000 calories a day, but you eat 2,000 calories a day and you're maybe eating the exact same thing as me, but I'm gaining weight, you're losing weight, or vice versa. We are completely different as human beings. There's so many more factors. Like I said, your metabolism is a big one. Our bodies burn things differently. And not only that, just lifestyle, stress, situations, and especially the one that we're in now, right? COVID-19, a lot of, I mean, I try not to watch the news anymore because it is so depressing and, you know, you feel really hopeless, like things are never going to get back to normal. But we're feeling isolated, disconnected, lonely. So, you know, we turn to things that we wouldn't normally turn to in our lives. It's true, yes, alcohol intake, you know, fast food or takeout, these things, the consumption of these things has increased tenfold. You know what though? It's okay. How many of you can relate to this, right? Even if you think, oh, I'm doing fine in COVID, I'm coping, but I am one of these people, right? For me, it's wine. I'll be honest. That is one thing, you know, when you're working from home and you are in the house for your work, for pleasure, because you have to be, and literally, I think I go to the grocery store and the dog park, and that's it. So for me, having a glass of wine or two, you know, at night, that breaks it up for me, right? And so obviously there's, you know, concern, you know, I'm not saying it's okay to just drink more and get into some really bad issues with addiction, but, you know, there's things right now that we're doing differently that we would normally never do. And it's because we're living in a world we've never lived in before. So it's okay. But I think the biggest piece is to remember it's not all or nothing. Okay. So even though I'm not necessarily eating as healthy as I would be if I was working Monday to Friday, going downtown, coming home, but just, you can't just throw everything out the window, right? So even though there's a lot more days when I don't get up as early as I should and get my workout in before work, but I make sure that I get it in at some point, even if I'm not feeling like it, right? You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, and that's okay. It's just the all or nothing is really what hurts people. So, you know, you go out for lunch with a friend, you craved something that you wasn't on your diet plan, and then you say, oh, well, screw it, the rest of the day, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And you kind of get off of track. So just remember, it's definitely all or nothing is not helpful. So now you're saying, well, now what do I do? So if I'm not to go on a diet, I'm not to focus on numbers, and I'm not to, I forget the last one now, but you're like, now what do I do? Well, here's a couple of things that you really need to know. If you want to make healthy lifestyle changes and you're really wanting to find something that's sustainable and long lasting, you do need expert help, okay? Not just saying me, but from any expert who focuses on nutrition, lifestyle, and, you know, finding that person that's the right balance. Because there's so much information out there and there's so much misinformation out there about dieting that where do you turn? And if you don't have that support, you know, you're going to be trying things and you're going to be getting frustrated and off track. And, you know, a lot of what we heard from Brittany and Jessica especially is that you need to listen to your body and it's going to give you cues. So a weight loss plan or a lifestyle plan is extremely individualized. I already talked about this a lot. We are all so different. You need a proper assessment, okay? It's not one size fits all. It's not about picking up a book off the shelf and going with that. An example is that even before I register for someone for one of my programs, I spend at least 45 minutes on the phone with them to find out all of the factors that come into play and decide, you know, even if I'm the person that can help them. So we talk about, well, where are they now? Where do they want to be? And how can I, or can I get you there? So it's more than just hopping on the next diet bandwagon, but you need to make sure that it's the right fit for you. As Brittany was saying, if it doesn't feel good and you're forcing yourself to do something that you've been told to do, it's not going to last, and maybe it's not good for your body. So together, I work with the person, we build a customized plan that's realistic, sustainable, and will fit into your current lifestyle without having to completely sacrifice everything. Because I'm telling you, I'm not giving up my wine. Nor should you have to, right? So if you want to get in contact with me, you probably by now have some of my contact information. But just so that you're aware, I do offer a number of one-on-one health coaching programs. I also like to do a lot of corporate webinars. Those are always lots of fun. And again, if you're just curious, you want to know more about what I do or how I do it, or if I can help you, then just book your free consultation. We'll sit down, 45 minutes and have a chat. So thank you everyone for listening. Next up, we have Femeena. Femeena has 25 years of nursing experience, which includes acute care, trauma, oncology, surgery, and pre and post-op. For the last 20 years, Femeena has been mastering her skills in dermatology and medical aesthetics. She pays great attention to detail and skill, and with her artistic eye, she has become one of Canada's top advanced cosmetic injectors. She is the owner of Elegance Medi-Spa and is speaking today on how you can still look young without looking overdone, which I think, Femeena, is a big question for some people. So go ahead, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining our little chat today. I'm super excited. Thank you, Kelly, for the great introduction and inviting me to speak. So I do have 20 years of medical aesthetics experience. I started off working with a world-renowned dermatologist and was fortunate in kind of learning and training a lot with him. I've traveled pretty much all around the world doing some training with some of the top injectors. So finding an experienced injector is really important. It's really important to go in, meet them, look at their bio, make sure that you've built some kind of rapport with that service provider, no matter who it is or what industry you're going in. They have to understand where you are, where you want to go, and how far you're willing to take it. And they need to be able to explain a lot of the realistic goals and approaches that we can take. So with a cosmetic injector, I tell people there's nothing wrong in going to someone who's learning. That's really important. You got to learn to get really good at what you're doing. So if you go to someone who's new and kind of training and learning, you want to make sure that they do have someone experienced with them all the time initially until they have confidence and you have confidence in what they're doing. Being a cosmetic nurse injector doesn't mean that you can take a weekend course and go out there and inject. Be really careful with that. We have a lot of new nurses, doctors, now apparently pharmacists and dentists that do that. And you want to be careful because they don't know the actual ins and outs of doing cosmetic injectable treatments. And it is a medical service. So they need to understand all of the pharmacological backgrounds of Botox, how filler works, how you can manipulate muscles with Botox, where the dosing should go, how much the dosing should be. Those are a lot of big things. And those are things as a client you don't know. So again, I go back to what I initially said. When you go in to meet your cosmetic nurse injector or any injector, make sure that you sit down with them and what they tell you, you understand. Don't get treatment if you don't understand why they're doing treatment, if you don't understand the dosing they're doing, and if you really cannot, if you're not able to kind of talk to them and let them know and have them guide you in what you're looking for. So for example, let's say you go in to see a nurse injector and for a couple of years you've been really concerned about those 11s, the lines between your brows, and they're just getting worse, but you're super nervous about getting treatment because you've never had anything done before. My advice to you is go in and see a couple of people. And I tell a lot of my clients who come in and see me and they are now wanting to do a little bit of plastic surgery, I give them 3 names and I tell them, go see all 3. Do a consult with all 3. It may cost you a little bit at the beginning, but in the long run, it'll make your life so much better. So same thing when you go meet your injector. Sit down with them, find out how long they've been doing these treatments, let them do a consult with you, make sure you're understanding what they're saying to you. And again, if it's the 11s, but they want to do your crow's feet, sometimes that is the right move, but why? Why are they doing that? And you need to understand. So when you leave there, and if you decide to have treatment there, you leave understanding full on why they treated around the eyes instead of between the brows. That's really important. So again, when you do pick your cosmetic nurse injector, or whichever injector you pick, make sure, first of all, you research them. A lot of them have pictures on their websites, or you're able to Google them. Read the reviews. And when I tell people read reviews, people go straight to all the negative reviews. And as all of us, because we're human, we tend to write all the bad stuff and forget about all the good stuff. But it's really important to not only read the negative reviews, but really read the positive ones, because the positive ones will be those people who really understood that injector and really were happy walking out and getting what they wanted. So read the reviews, meet the injector, and make sure that you feel comfortable and confident with that injector, and you walk out of there feeling like, yeah, she or he understands what I want done. So that's really important when you're picking a cosmetic nurse injector. Back to you, Kelly.
Love it. That's so important. I've been fortunate enough to train a little bit with you, and yeah, I can tell you firsthand experience. You take a course, it's minimal, and you know, it is a little bit frightening that there are a number of professions able to just go and start injecting without actually knowing everything that's behind it. And you're absolutely right. I think that choosing the right person is so important. Do you think also that a lot of people are afraid to even come in for a consultation thinking that, you know, things are going to be pushed on them and that they're going to leave looking like Barbie or someone they don't want to like?
I totally agree. Like, I think one of the biggest, there's 2 big hesitations, well, probably 3 big hesitations about going in and getting treatment. Number 1 is the media is flooded with people who are overdone. And again, we post a lot about the negativity. So that's what people are seeing. The second thing is people want to look natural. And how do you explain that to someone? What is your natural compared to someone else's natural? It's very different, right? Yeah. So your cosmetic injector should understand you're different than everybody else. So the treatment has to be customized to what you want and what's best for you. And the third thing is, I think people are still very nervous about the whole natural, you know, I only want to do natural stuff. I only want, you know, natural. Well, Botox is natural, right? It's a protein, which our body carries protein. And I think people have to kind of get that whole image of the overdone look, that whole image of, you know, I want to be really natural, because I mean, I have Botox and filler, and hopefully when you guys are looking at me, I look natural.
Yeah, right here. This is Femeena too. You're right. I mean, that's a great point as well. Not only that, you know, there are ways to make little tweaks, feel good about it, not leave feeling overdone, or, you know, what people might say frozen. That's not your approach. I know that for sure. And also when you talked about Botox being a natural product, again, this is something that people tend to be afraid of, because you know, a lot of us try to take care of ourselves and eat clean and, you know, exercise and do all these things that are good for ourselves. And so we worry that, well, this is completely unnatural. I shouldn't be doing it, you know. So that was a great point that you brought up about the Botox. And to when people go in to see someone like yourself, it is important that you're feeling comfortable and you can ask questions and you have an answer, right? You need to know what you're doing and why and the important pieces about it. So that's
and it's really important to remember that if you're not 100% comfortable about having treatment right then and there, don't. You know, I'll tell people that I can tell they're really, really nervous. I'll tell them, go home, take a few days, think about it. It shouldn't be something that you pressure somebody into. They should really feel like they are ready. I'm ready today to have it. I trust what you're doing. I understand the whole treatment modality. Yes, let's do treatment. Those people you want to treat. The people who are really, really nervous, they still have a lot to work through their head and they need time, and time is okay.
Yeah, exactly. Never feeling pressured.
Yeah.
Anything. So, yeah, I mean, I love everything that you do and how you do it, and exactly the way you spoke about making people comfortable, knowing what they need to know. So, just a little question at the end. So, what, you know, being that this is the Live Beautiful Wellness Summit, what does living beautiful mean to you? And it doesn't have to be necessarily in regards to your business. If it does, great. But just in general, what does Live Beautiful mean to you?
You know what? That's a really good question, Kelly, especially through this whole pandemic that we've been living through. I think a lot of people had a lot more time to hopefully take care of themselves, spend time and kind of evaluating what their lives are like. And I think living beautiful for me is a factor of a few things. I mean, you know me. My most important thing in my life is my family, my dogs, my kids, my husband. My family is most important. And I think missing out on all my kids are grown up, if people don't know that. They're spending time with them was really, really challenging. So finding ways that I could spend time with them outside, keeping social distance, you know, getting out for walks. Taking care, really, I'm in this industry for a reason. You know, I love what I do. So taking care of my skin, making sure I'm getting treatment is important to me. Living beautiful is not only what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside too. So eating better, like you don't know me. Most of these people don't know me, but Kelly does. But over the pandemic, I lost, you know, close to 15 pounds. I was finding that I was so involved in my company that I did forget to take care of myself. I did forget to live beautifully, right? And now I'm better at it. I'm more aware of what I'm doing. I want to feel better on the inside. I need to be happy on the inside. And really, one of the biggest things I've learned through my career is helping other people. And I'm not talking about helping other people in this industry, but helping other women grow, helping people understand what they want in their lives, and maybe guiding or coaching them to get what they deserve. Reaching their goals is also a big part of living beautifully. It's not all about me, it's about what I can do for, you know, my community and my clients and my friends and my family.
Yeah, I love that. Such a great explanation. And you are, you do live it. I mean, I know you and I've seen what you do. And absolutely, I mean, you're a perfect example of reaching your goals, right? And supporting each other. And that's another reason why I wanted to have this summit, is so that we can all, you know, network together, support each other. And especially through times, you know, with COVID, you know, not only just supporting small businesses, which of course is important, but coming together as a community. And I think we've all kind of seen that a little bit more. So
Exactly.
blessing in disguise, I guess. So that's wonderful. I'm just going to post your slide with your services. So you do offer a number of different services. So
Yes, we do.
injectables is one of those. Let me just get my...
Sure. So when we talk about injectables, we do Botox treatments for fine lines and wrinkles. We can lift brows. We do dermal fillers for cheek enhancement, lips, refining the jawline, hollowed temples, under the eyes. We also do Belkyra, which is for double chin. We do a lot of laser and skin treatments for anti-aging, for veins, laser hair removal, microneedling, which is one of the most popular treatments in the world right now. We have 2 main pharmaceutical grade skincare, which skincare is really important. Coming in and getting treatments is important, but you have to also follow it through with taking products home and being diligent using them. And then we do cool sculpting, which helps remove pockets of fat around the body. And I've had that done and it does work. I love it.
Nice. Yes, it does work. Yeah, and that's what I love as well about Elegance is it's, you know, the whole package, right? You're absolutely right. Like you can get Botox and fillers, but skincare is also really important. So that's nice that you offer that.
Yes, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, so if people want to get in touch with you, if they have any questions, of course, we know that they can book a consultation with you without feeling pressured. What is the best way, do you think, for them to get a hold of you? Via your website?
Yeah, the best way is getting on the website because it directs you into letting us know what you're looking for, what your concerns are. The other way is I have probably one of the best clinic operations manager, hands down. So if you email, she'll get the email and she's really prompt in responding. She's one of the biggest gems in my life, hands down. So yeah, either way is perfect. Going through the email at elegancecalgary.com, info@elegancecalgary.com or the website Elegance Calgary.
Perfect. Good to know. And always great to follow you as well on social media. I know all of you, the other clinicians as well, have great posts on kind of up and coming and what's new and, you know, frequently asked questions. So absolutely, if you can give Femeena and Elegance a follow either on Instagram or Facebook, you've got the links there. So
perfect.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy that I was able to have you speak. I know you're busy and opening day is
tomorrow. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I can't again tell you how much I appreciate you being part of my life, being a friend and a colleague, and then inviting me to speak. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for taking time in your day to spend with me.
Thanks so much, Femeena. Take care.
Happy 2021. Bye.